Then my mother begged, pleaded, and ordered me to escape in any way I could. She said that a young man could escape while she was hindered by her age and infirmity, but she would die in peace so long as she wasn't the cause of my death too. I replied that I would not save myself unless she came with me. Then, seizing her hand, I forced her to move faster. Soon Ash was coming down, but the fall wasn't heavy yet. I looked back. A dense, dark cloud was just behind us, flooding the earth like a torrent. We had only just sat down to rest when it became dark. Not the darkness of a moonless or cloudy night, but the darkness of a closed room when the light has gone out. This is an excerpt from some letters that a scientist, scholar, and author of the time, Pliny the Younger, wrote about the massively destructive eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. This volcano has been the cause of monumental amounts of damage and destruction, and you'll discover why its stories will always be a major part of history. Mount Vesuvius is in the southern half of Italy, situated directly to the east of the nearby city of Naples. It's also northwest of Salerno. This landmark is one of a line of many other volcanoes which extend from the north of Rome to southern Italy. Depending on your source, Mount Vesuvius can be considered either an active or dormant volcano. A volcano is a cone-shaped mountain that is formed above a vent in the Earth's surface. The vent leads to molten rock down in some of the deepest parts of planet Earth. Along other elements, a volcano is made up of lava, cinders, and ash. Mount Vesuvius is approximately 1,200 meters high. It has two craters, Monte Somma and Monte Vesuvio. Somma is the older of the two and partially surrounds the other. Mount Vesuvius has always been a major part of the scenery of the Bay of Naples because of its majestic size. In order to better understand the potential of a volcano, it's a good idea to understand how volcanoes erupt. There are several contributing factors. Firstly, if the tides of the ocean are even slightly altered in their normal wave patterns, there's a potential that would affect the pressure within a volcano. Another cause to an eruption stems from a blocked volcano vent. This happens when dirt or rocks cover the mouth, consequently causing a great increase in internal pressure. However, the most common cause for a volcanic eruption is movement from tectonic plates. These huge, flat rock pieces form the outer crust of the Earth. They fit together similarly to puzzle pieces. When they overlap, some of the plate rock melts, thus pushing it up into the magma chamber of the volcano. This produces a flow of magma, which is composed of gases, liquids, and rock particles. Once enough pressure is built up, the volcano erupts and literally blows at the top. It blasts a massive amount of rock and debris, sometimes miles up in the air, not to mention additional elements such as poisonous gases, steam, lava, and superhot foam. Once it enters the lower atmosphere's freezing air temperatures, the rock turns to tiny pebbles, also known as pumice. Mount Vesuvius's history of explosions demonstrates its capabilities, and also its extreme level of danger. This phenomenon has erupted numerous times in history, including years such as 203, 512, 787, 1036, and 1139 AD. Since the eruption, which it's most famous for, in 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius has erupted 50 to 80 more times. The volcano was scheduled on one eruption per century until the year 1037 AD, when it didn't explode for 600 years. During this time, the Italians living around it used it for farming and vegetation. In relatively recent times, Vesuvius erupted from an earthquake in 1631. The excavations from the aftermath revealed the story of long-lost Pompeii, almost 1,600 years prior. However, it wasn't until this eruption that Pompeii came back into history. In 1903, about 300,000 tons of volcanic debris showered down on Naples. Vesuvius last erupted in 1944 during World War II. The Allied fleet had to evacuate 5,000 residents of Naples. The time for its next eruption remains a mystery, but about 3 million people would be affected if it were to erupt right now. During the event which it is undoubtedly best known for, Vesuvius blew its top in 79 AD in a phenomenally intense and destructive eruption. The first bit of action began sometime between 11 a.m. and midday, with a small amount of steam swirling out of the opening, accompanied by a little bit of ash. Then, around noon, pumice shot up, reaching a startling height of 15 to 30 kilometers or 10 to 20 miles in the air, only to then fall into an umbrella pine formation over the city of Pompeii. As the air became clouds of darkness, pumice and bits of rock began falling as they raced to the bottom of the pine formation. The surrounding cities of Pompeii, Aplantis, and Stabiae received 16 centimeters of lapilli per hour until it reached a height of 2.8 meters. The second phase began the next morning with rapidly moving flows of hot ash and gases down the sides of the volcano. 3 surges happened, followed by another 3, which blasted the cities of Herculaneum and Pompeii with extremely hot temperatures, toxic gases, and meters of ash. Approximately 3,360 Italians lost their lives from the natural disaster. 300 victims were found during the 1982 archaeological discoveries at the waterfront. Of those who perished but escaped the lava flow, they had their lives ended from suffocating on the ashes and gases. Most of the remains of the bodies that were found were curled around each other as they probably died in an embrace. Bodies were found in city boathouses, beneath the fallen columns of buildings, and up on top of roofs as they tried to escape the city's terrible air quality. Excavators were able to discover a lot of what the buried city of Pompeii once looked like through the incredible power that ash has to preserve the contents around it. A week before, these were lively cities with everyone busying themselves in their daily lives. Before they knew it, the people were choking on smoke and literally running for their lives. Mount Vesuvius currently seems to be a calm landmark bordering the southern Italian town of Naples. However, when active, it becomes a beast, destroying whatever it can through its powers of lava, ash, pumice, toxic gases, and magma. Mount Vesuvius has caused devastating damage and still remains a threat to its region. Its next eruption time remains a mystery.